Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Okay, guys, a bit out of my normal remit, but I'm going to do a review for the new Netflix show called Barbarians. And basically, it's just an excuse for me to be a bit excited because I proper enjoyed it. If you want to know more about the historical accuracy, you can see Metatron's video about it, which came up literally the other day. But basically, just type in Metatron, Netflix, Barbarian, it should come up. And as we have Metatron dressed as a Roman legionnaire, I am going to dress as a a Germanic warrior. Now, if you're unaware, this is actually my Cummins tartan. I ordered these blankets offline. They're like sort of you print on demand order your tartan, and that's my actual Cummins tartan. So I woke up at 3:30 in the morning. Sometimes I do that. I just awake and I can't go back to sleep. I'd already watched a couple of episodes. I hammered the last four episodes and got up at 6 a.m. or something, or 7 a.m. and was like, oh my God. So I've been walking around all day in my cloak of doom as a Germanic warrior. So there you go. Right. Basically, guys, if you want to know about the historical accuracy of the program, I definitely recommend that you look at Metatron's video, and he mentions other people's video to show the difference in it. One of the main reasons for this video is to ask you guys if you saw any historical inaccuracies, and what do you think about the program, and how great or good do you consider the program to be? Hold on a minute. Whoosh. Right. Now, the number one historical inaccuracy I found was nothing to do with the armor, nothing to do with the clothing or anything, was actually there was a guy with a pitchfork shoveling hay, just turning hay in a pile. And I'm like, to be fair, I might be proven to be wrong on this, but as far as I'm aware, you do not do that with hay. Hay, basically, you cut it down, you cut that down in the summer. You then lie as flat as possible, and you turn it in the sunshine so that it becomes dry and brittle, and then you stack it ready for the animals to eat. This guy literally had some green hay that he was just tossing about in a pile that was probably big enough to feed his pet rabbit, and in the wet, wintry weather. I was like, well, that's gonna rot, isn't it? So before, like, Metatron's been going on about this armor and that armor, and I'm like looking at this one guy, just clearly an extra, being said, somebody went up to him and the director went, do something medieval. And just like, even though we're not in the medieval period, you know what they're like? It's like, do something medieval. It's like, here I am, shoveling hay, just doing nothing with the hay. So that bit threw me out of it. But apart from that, guys, it was superb. If you have not watched it, please go and watch it. If you have watched it, tell me what you think below. Basically, it's the story of the famous forest battle where a Roman legion is stretched out over the forest track and the Germanic warriors invade them. Now, if you read Tacitus Germania or Germania, then basically you can see they've clearly plundered this document for all the different styles. The guys who are just painted in black as ghost warriors. You've got the guys with their hair knots to one side. They've done some seriously good research on the sort of Germanic traditions. And of course, the Itais, the Italians, the Romans are mustard, and they are really good. And according to Metatron, the language is spot on. I wouldn't know. I don't speak Latin. I think he does. Well, I know he does. And I don't know about the Germanic languages, but they're excellent. So it is subtitled, guys. It's in 2 languages, but that adds to the flavour. It really, really adds to the flavour. It's 6 episodes, and it's pretty brutal, pretty bloody, pretty violent, which is mint. We need a bit of that. Lots of decapitation and all that sort of stuff. So basically, what I would like to say is it's been really refreshing, to get in 2020, which the year of chaos, is to get rid of the diversity quotas and the ticking of boxes and all that, and just like, you know, when you're watching, now I agree with diversity within the films, I agree with it totally, I get it, but I never understood why they meant, oh, it has to be in every single film. When they said diversity in films, I thought they meant across the board, like, okay, we need some Chinese actors there, we need some black actors there, but you wouldn't put Chinese actors in Germania in 9 AD, would you? So I was just waiting for the sort of like the black actor to come in, a strong independent woman who pays her own telephone bills and all that, and I was like, is she coming on? nope, she's not there. And I was like, this is mint. And you actually got Italians, hopefully playing Italians, Germans playing Germanic people, and it was as close as you could probably get to history on the budget they've done, which was superb. Now, it doesn't mean, and just to be clear with you guys, I love the idea of diversity. I'm looking forward to the next. I'll see a Chinese drama, I'll watch a black drama. I don't really care, as long as if it's history, they keep it in there for proper history. Now, onto the story. The story, they do ad lib with a bit, sorry, not ad lib, they ad hoc with some bits. There's my little bit of Latin for you. They ad hoc on some bits, basically meaning they're making things up or just throwing things in randomly. And you can see they've sort of just like gone, and then they've sort of ad-libbed it, if you like, where they're like, well, we'll make him this and this, that, and things that didn't happen in reality. But there's a big difference between a documentary and a drama, and clearly they had to make a drama. And within the first episode, you're like, okay, I'm on his side, I'm on her side, okay, I'm now on his side, that's really good. And there's tension and all that, and I was like, yes, this is pretty mustard. So I was there. However, the downfall, I thought, was the story arcs of some of the characters. Now, a drama is not real life. It's meant to actually follow a story, a human story that you can follow. And the main guy, which is called Falcon Wolfspear, I think, he was a redundant character, basically. But I'm not sure whether it was about having a flawed character or a redundant character. So in drama, you must have flaws within the character, meaning they've got problems, there's issues, but then they sort of overcome those issues and the world threats and actually, you know, then move on. But this guy, Falcon, I think he's called, he literally is cool, but a bit of a numpty. So, like, if he wasn't in the story, not much had really happened. The woman came up with the idea of nicking the gold standard. She could have just used anyone. They didn't really need him in the rebellion. He gets captured because he's drunk, and then he doesn't free himself. He doesn't get out any cool way, and he's freed by the other characters, and he does pretty much nothing. So he's pretty much the lead character in it, and then it shifts over to Ari, this character Ari, and I won't, you know, I'm not saying spoiler, but I'm saying I won't say too much, but basically it shifts between those two as lead characters, and one of them develops and gets somewhere, the other one just gets drunk and taken a prisoner and nothing happens, and his wife and his missus leaves him, and you're like, oh, right. So I'm not sure whether that was bad writing or a flawed character to sort of like give you a context or comparison to the perfect character, or, you know, the developing character. I was unsure. So some of the characters in it were a bit like, where's this character going from a story perspective? However, what was amazing is they actually kill off a load of decent characters, Game of Thrones style. Like this, he's got this man, that means you start building the poof, dead, and they start building that character, poof, dead, and you're like, okay, I'm with this. Which brings me to the fact that they often don't really sort of revisit the fact that their mate has just died. A lot of the times, these guys, like, my mate's just died. Boo. Right, what's next? And you're like, next episode. And you're like, your mate literally just died. So there's some great religious stuff in it. There's some excellent sort of traditions, folklore in the background. There is some stuff that's clearly made up, but on the whole, it's a good entry into really enjoying, you know, ancient warrior culture. And I have no qualms with people watching it. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of people are nitpicking. I'm like, no, sit down and enjoy it. And normally I don't enjoy a lot of the programs put out this year and a lot of in the last few years, but this one bowled over. 10 points to Netflix for that, because they've made some really crazy decisions recently, and putting Barbarians on is the best decision they've ever made. Right, guys, so I do advise you to go see Metatron's video. It's excellent, and support the Cummins clan. Do you know what I mean? Right, so there you go. I'm getting warm now. I've got to go back in my cold fire. It's actually pretty freezing in here because I've just ordered a ton of coal. So coal's arrived. I've put a fire on. I'm going to go get a shower and get warm by it. So there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do tell me in the comments below if you've watched it, what you thought of it, any interesting points, let me know.